In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 5 types of insurance every teenager should know about, plus a few companies that are worth looking into. What's up, you guys? My name's Ashley, and whether you're a parent of a teenager or you're a teen yourself, understanding insurance at this stage of life can save you money and honestly protect you from a lot of stress later on. Insurance isn't always the most exciting topic, but it's honestly one of the most important. Teenagers are starting to drive, getting their first jobs, going to college, and handling responsibilities that do come with risks. That's why it's so important to know what coverage makes sense at this age and what companies actually offer good options. So why insurance matters for teenagers? When you're a teenager, life is full of firsts. First car, first job, first apartment, maybe even moving away for school. All of these milestones come with responsibility, and with that responsibility comes risk. A car accident, a hospital visit, or even something like losing your phone or laptop can cost hundreds or thousands of dollars. The truth is, teenagers don't always think about those risks ahead of time. Insurance is there as a safety net. It doesn't just protect money, it protects independence. If you know you're covered, you can focus on building your life without constantly worrying about the what ifs. Let's start off with the most essential one, which is health insurance. At its core, health insurance is what helps pay for medical expenses like doctor visits, hospital stays, prescriptions, or emergencies. Most teens stay on their parents' plan until age 26, but if that's not an option, there are affordable alternatives through schools or the marketplace. This is really important because healthcare in the US is expensive, sometimes shockingly so. Even something as routine as a broken arm can rack up thousands of dollars in bills. For teenagers who are active in sports or just living busy lives, health insurance makes sure that one accident doesn't become a financial crisis. Take, for example, a high school soccer player who tears their ACL in a game. Without insurance, surgery and rehab could cost over $10,000. With coverage, most of that's taken care of, and the family can focus on recovery instead of how to pay the bill. Now let's move on to something that becomes relevant the moment a teen gets behind the wheel, which is car insurance. This type of coverage pays if you're in an accident, whether that means fixing your car, covering medical bills, or paying for damage you caused to someone else. It's not just important, it's legally required. Teen drivers are considered high risk because they just simply don't have much experience yet. Accidents happen more often in those first few years of driving. And without insurance, the financial fallout can be massive. Imagine a teen who rear-ends another car on the way to school. The damage to both cars is thousands of dollars plus the other driver's medical needs, and with car insurance, the costs are covered. Without it, the family could be on the hook for everything. Number 3 is renter's insurance. As teens head off to college or get their first apartment, renter's insurance really comes into play. This covers personal belongings like laptops, clothes, and furniture, plus liability if someone gets injured in your space. A lot of people assume they don't own much, but when you actually add up a phone, a computer, and a closet full of clothes, it's easily worth thousands of dollars. Renter's insurance is cheap, sometimes just $10 to $15 a month, but can save a ton of stress if something happens. Picture a college freshman coming back from class to find their dorm room broken into. Their laptop is gone along with a few other valuables. With renter's insurance, they can replace what was stolen quickly and keep moving forward. Without it, they'll be scrambling to pay out of pocket. Then there's phone and gadget insurance, something most teens don't think about until it's too late. This kind of coverage protects electronics like phones, tablets, and laptops from accidental damage, theft, or loss. This is really important because devices aren't just for fun anymore. They're tools for school, work, and staying connected and safe. Replacing one unexpectedly can be a huge financial hit, especially for students on a budget. Let's just say a teen drops their iPhone while skateboarding and the screen shatters. The repair costs $400, which is no small amount. With Gadget insurance, the fix is covered and the phone is back in use right away without derailing their budget. Finally, let's talk about the one most people don't expect, life insurance for teens. It sounds unusual, but there are reasons families sometimes consider it. Parents might take out a small policy to lock in a low rate while their child is young and healthy, or to protect against situations where the teen has private student loans with a cosigner. It's not something every family needs, but for those with loans or financial obligations, it can be a smart layer of protection. I wanted to touch on a few alternative options to consider as well. So while those are the 5 main types of insurance to think about, here are some of the alternatives depending on your situations. Some families could choose to add umbrella insurance for extra liability coverage, especially if a teenager is driving. Others may look into travel insurance if a teen is studying abroad or going on extended trips. It all comes down to your lifestyle and what risks you want to protect against. Now, let's talk about some of the pros and cons cons of insurance for teenagers, and then we'll go into some different types of insurance providers. So the biggest advantage of getting insurance early is peace of mind. Teenagers might not realize it yet, but the risks they face are real. Car accident, sports injury, or even having their laptop stolen can throw life off track. Having insurance in place means those moments don't turn into financial disasters. It also creates habits that carry into adulthood. Learning to budget for insurance teaches teens responsibility. It's about preparing for the unexpected, not just reacting to it. Another pro is that insurance often gives families more options when something goes wrong. For example, a teen with renter's insurance who loses their laptop to theft can replace it quickly and keep up with schoolwork. Without coverage, the family might have to scramble to take on debt. Insurance doesn't just cover the money, it gives the freedom to make better choices without being limited by cost. However, there are some downsides. The first is cost, of course. Teenagers are often on tight budgets, and parents may already be stretched covering tuition, gas, or sports fees. Car insurance in particular is expensive for young drivers, and sometimes it feels unfair. Why should someone with so little driving history pay so much? Unfortunately, that's the trade-off insurers make for higher risk. Another con is knowing which coverage is truly necessary. It can be pretty confusing to sort out what a teen really needs now versus what can wait. Health and car insurance are non-negotiable, but something like life insurance may only make sense in specific cases. Families sometimes worry about overbuying coverage and paying for policies they won't really use. There's also the challenge of complexity. Insurance terms aren't always written in plain English. Deductibles, liability limits, exclusions. It's enough to make anyone's head spin, let alone a 17-year-old buying their first policy. That's why education is key. When teens start to learn about insurance early, they build the confidence to make smarter choices as adults. So while the cost and complexity can feel like barriers, the protection and peace of mind usually outweighs the drawbacks. One expected bill, whether it's $1,000 or $20,000, can cost far more than years of paying for coverage. If you are not sure where to get started with insurance for your teen, I've left a couple links down below. So we have a couple options here. For car insurance, we do have a survey that you can go ahead and check out. Within that survey, all you have to do is answer a few questions. You put in your zip code, how many cars are on your policy, how old you are, if you're currently insured, if you own a home, and if you or a family member has honorably served in the military. Answer those quick questions, and then you'll get sent a bunch of different options. We also recommend State Farm as well. They're a great company that's been around for a long time, and you can get an agent assigned to you. So you're not just doing it online, you actually have a dedicated person. And then lastly is Lemonade. So Lemonade is a newer insurance, but it's very tech forward. It's really quick when you want to process claims and everything's on an app. And teens these days 100% are tech savvy. So this might be a good option. To check their prices, you'll just click this link right here. If you don't have an account, you'll click nope. And then here you can see they've got renters and they've got car, and you can even bundle them together to save a bit as well. So all of those links are down below if you want to check any of them out. So, should teenagers and their families take insurance seriously? The answer is an overwhelmingly yes, but with a layered approach. Start with what's legally required and absolutely essential. That means health insurance and car insurance. Without health insurance, even a simple ER visit can derail a family's finances. Without car insurance, a single accident could lead not only to bills, but also legal trouble. These two are the foundation every teen needs. Once those are in place, look at the next layer: renter's insurance and phone or gadget insurance. These aren't legally required, but they can make life a lot smoother. A stolen laptop, a cracked phone, or water damage in a dorm room may not sound as serious as a hospital stay, but for a teenager balancing school, part-time work, and a tight budget, these losses can feel just as overwhelming. Having coverage here turns a crisis into a minor setback. And then finally, there's life insurance. This is where the conversation shifts to long-term thinking. Not every teen needs it, but for families with private student loans or other co-signed debt, a small policy can be a smart safety net. Parents who want to lock in a low rate early also see it as an investment in future financial security. The key is prioritization. You don't have to buy every type of insurance all at once. Think of it like building blocks. Cover the essentials first, health and car, and then add on later on. The bigger picture is that insurance for teens isn't just about money, it's about having independence. Having the right coverage means teens can step into adulthood with confidence. They don't have to fear every what if because they know it's also about peace of mind. Insurance lets them loosen the reins a little, knowing their kids have a safety net as they start driving, working, and living on their own. So yes, insurance for teenagers is 1000% worth it. As a side note, I know this can feel super overwhelming. There are so many types of insurance out there and it's hard to know where to start, especially if money is already tight. But here's the thing, you don't need to have everything figured out right away. Even getting one policy in place is a huge step forward, and it's one less thing to worry about when life throws a curveball. If you want to get started with any of the policies that I mentioned and just take a baby step forward by getting a quote, all those links are down in the description below. I do want to mention that these are affiliate links, which means we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So if you do choose to use our links, we just want to thank you so much in advance for supporting our channel. It just really helps us to continue to make free content just like this. This channel is dedicated to helping you understand insurance in simple, clear terms so you can make smart choices for yourself, your family, and your future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any comments or questions below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.